Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone is having a blessed day. You know, I do my recordings as the messages come for me to give to everyone as I receive them through the divine. So I take notes and I cleanse my energy every morning before I start my recording and ask God and the angels to help me give the message that they want me to give out so it can be well received. And what I need to stop doing, I be noticing like when I be on here, my nerves, I be shaking. My leg be shaking the whole time. I'm trying to break myself up in that too, y'all. But anyway, I got on here because I wanted to discuss today. I want to talk about divine intervention and healing and learning to be alone. So I took notes, down so I could know what I needed to say. And for some reason last night, I don't ever feel sick. And I sleep with my fan on, y'all, and I had the fan like I was kind of directly in front of it, but I felt my throat trying to get sore. So I got up and I drank some water because I know I wasn't getting sick. I hadn't done anything. I just think there was something trying to interrupt and didn't want me to get up this morning and be able to speak. But I rebuked that devil because I just needed to get a message out, and I know when God wants me to do something, I'm not going to let anything stop me from doing it. So we finna talk about divine intervention. And what's the meaning of it when you're going through a divine intervention? When you're going through a divine intervention, you got to know that God don't think you're too bad to be on the dark side, but he also don't think you're too good to be in the light. You like in between, so he wants you to find your right path. So you're going to either not listen to what God is trying to make you be aware of, so you won't go towards hell, and listen so you can come more aware so you can be good enough to go to heaven. So with that being said, I just felt like I needed to give this message today. So divine intervention comes from when divine intervention really protects you. Divine intervention protects you, it guides you, and it rescues you. But that's only if you're willing to be protected, guided, and rescued. Because some people ignore their intuition and they end up going down the rabbit hole. So with that being said, I just wanted to give the message today and let everybody know, when to know that your intuition is trying to guide you towards something better in your life. Like when you notice, I just want people to understand this. I had to realize this. Like certain energies that are attached to people that you are around, you can't grow around people like that. Even sometimes it be your own self that's preventing you from growing. But especially when you're trying to grow in an environment where people don't want to grow. When you're in a low vibrational environment, you can't grow. I don't care how hard you work, you always seem like you're stuck. you're codependent, and you just, every time something good happens, it gets taken right back from you, and you feel like you have to start all over again. Well, you have to know. See, some people are in denial. I have had this discussion with many people, and I think they was thinking that I was trying to tell them run their life. I really don't try to run nobody's life. I just, God uses me to give messages, and that's just all I do. If people come and talk to me, I try to give good advice without just really going there and saying what I really, really be feeling, because I can't judge what people are comfortable with. So if they're comfortable with it, it's not for me to judge them on that. They have to find their own way and learn their own lessons, just like I had to. But God give us guidance. God sends us messages through people, through music, through birds, through animals. We get messages all kinds of ways. Now, if we're awakened to see it, that's up to us. Sometimes people want to keep on rose-colored glasses, and they want to be in control of the situation that they're not in control of. You know, God has control of the situation. You just got to let his angels guide you. His light workers guide you. Sometimes we already be feeling stuff, and we can go and hear that same confirmation through somebody else that we was already feeling. So sometimes we do need confirmation. But sometimes when you get confirmation, do you take that confirmation, or do you just overlook it and still do what you want to do instead of doing what you're guided to do? So when you go through a divine intervention, you got to know that you shouldn't feel like you need any kind of, I'm going to say, like, let's say for instance, you know how when somebody make you mad and you feel like, ooh, I need a drink because somebody done made you mad. Like, that drink ain't gonna do nothing but lower your vibrations. I just don't feel like stuff like that make us feel better. We have to feel better within ourselves and learn how to heal and stop thinking that we need other things to heal us. Now, I'm not the one to say that you shouldn't drink. That's not what I'm saying. But if you drinking to enjoy and be sociable and happy drinking, that's a difference. But when you drink in low vibrational spirits, I don't advise people to do that, because that's not doing nothing. That's why they call drink spirits. Either the good spirits gonna attach to you, or the bad spirits. So if you already in bad spirit and you start drinking, it's not going to do anything but make your spirits even lower and easy for bad spirits to attach to you. And it's the same thing when it comes to smoking weed. I remember I used to smoke so much weed. I used to want to smoke weed all day. I can wake up in the morning smoking and go to sleep smoking. Now, I still smoke. You know, I'd be lying if I get on here and say I don't. But I smoke sociably. I smoke when I want to think about good creativity things, like to help me more go deeper into my thoughts of my creativity. But I don't smoke no more when I feel like I feel bad, or I feel like something I'm going through. I'm not finna go make me a drink. I remember like a month ago, I was in a bad spirit. And I have a bar with plenty of drinks. You probably can see it right here. Right there on my little nightstand over there in the corner. I have my drinks sitting there, but I create drinks to make for, my customers, but I make drinks for happiness, not for sadness. So I was thinking, ooh, I feel sad. I need to make me a drink. I looked over there at that boy and I say, no, you don't. No, you don't. Because you just need to heal yourself and deal with it. A lot of things we try to abuse alcohol and drugs to, I guess, cope. In other words, with situations that still's not gonna go away, and you ain't doing nothing but adding another problem to the problem that you need to heal from. So divine intervention comes when it's kind of like a spiritual awakening too. You can say it's kind of like going through a dark night of the soul. And I'm going to go on that subject next, but I just want y'all to know that, let me see what I wrote down, because when you go through a divine intervention, first of all, I didn't even have to read to think of this. That just came to my mind, that God is working and he's trying to come through in an active manner. And for those who have believes in God, the universe, angel spirits that come through God, people, God come through people. Like I say, God come through angel spirits, God comes through animals. So music, numbers, if you start seeing certain numbers all the time, pay attention. Like every time, that's how I start being aware. Every time I wake up or something good happens, something is finna change in my life, I look at the time. I look at numbers. And I always see 4 4s, 10 10, 2 2s, 5 5s, 12 12s. It comes in, everything like comes in double numbers, triple numbers, quadruple numbers. So every time I see a number, I go Google and see what the angel message is trying to give me. So I don't know if everybody worked through numbers, but you got to know God give us all kind of signs, but we just got to pay attention, because it's not something that we just going to see with the 3D eye. We got to go into our spiritual side, our 5D, to understand. Because everything that all we got to do is ask God to reveal what we want to be revealed, and he'll reveal it. A lot of people listen to go get, and I don't have no problem, because that's really how I learned so much, by listening to readings on YouTube. And I listen to certain people, and now I notice energies also. And I do not have anything bad to say about tarot readers or anything, because a lot of them have helped me through my spiritual journey. But I don't go get personal readings. I don't, because I understand spirituality. I really could be a tarot reader, but I don't choose that path. I let that be for other people. God has other things in store for me to do, But I know how to listen, and I probably could do tarot, but I wouldn't. It's just something that I'm not interested in doing, but I enjoy listening to the people that do it, and I can distinguish the good from the bad with that too. Because you got to know in everything there's a good and there's a bad. So if I notice that the energy that the reader always comes on there with, and then they be saying, that's the energy that they receiving. But sometimes, me personally, if every time I go into a channel and it's always something messy, negative, I'm not gonna channel into that. I'm not gonna indulge in it, unless it's giving somebody a message to be aware of it. But I don't like bad energy. I don't like bad news. I don't like bad vibes. I don't watch the news because you will put your energy and your anger into all that, and it's nothing that you can do about it. So I try to only do things that I can relate to and that's not going to bring my vibrations down. I don't look at low vibrational stuff. I don't listen to low vibrational stuff. Not too much of it. Because sometimes we just need to know. We got to notice that everything in the world ain't perfect, ain't peachy. So sometimes we do have to go into the dark side and deal with certain situations. But for the most part, I don't entertain low vibrational. So if I see a lot of readers that's always doing low vibrational readings, I'm not going to continue to listen to them. So, and I be hearing readers saying, it's not good. And it's not good if you don't have the, how can I say, because some people don't have the good understanding of what they listening to, because they take things. I was like that when I first started listening to readings, and I didn't understand astrology. I didn't understand, the energies, that I just would go listen to my sign and my sun sign, which in astrology we gotta know we're just not under one sign. A lot of people think that the sign that they're born under, that's the only sign that they relate to. But you have to know that there are planets in the south node and the north node, and you want to know your path. So you have different zodiacs in each planet in your birth chart. And I have had a lot of my family and family friends that when I tell them, because I don't, one thing I don't do is be ashamed of what I do and who I am. So, because I love the person that God has brought me to become, to realize who I am and the things that I have learned. I love sharing what I learned with my family, the people who are interested in knowing. Everybody not interested, and it's okay. It might be a little boring to them, but nothing about me knowing about who I am as a person is boring to me. So, to each his own. But a lot of times when you be confused about certain things that happen in your life, a lot of people from Christianity, they use guidance from the Bible, But I'm a spiritual person. I use guidance from the divine. I get my messages from the divine. And I'm just going to say it like that. So the divine has guided me to teach myself, to learn about myself, and guided me to show people how to learn more about themselves if they willing to learn, you know. And that way we won't be confused why certain things happen in our life, why we feel certain ways. And it's to work on doing better, especially when you know the certain ways you are feeling, the certain things you're doing are not right. We all need guidance. So I just ask God to teach me how to be a better person. And me going through my awakening, you know, God started revealing to me the gifts that I had. And I, you know, being that I'm a life path number 9, my soul is an old soul. So my soul has been through this 3D several life paths. So life path number 9 means that now I have to I agreed with God. I made a contract with God that I was going to finish the cycles, because I'm not coming back to this realm anymore. Once I leave this earth, I won't be back here through other generations. So I have to leave a legacy behind to be known for, you know, to be remembered by. And that's all I work on doing, being a person of humanity, doing what I'm supposed to do, doing things that God gifted me with to do. So when you go through a divine intervention, you have to stop trying to be in control and let God be in control. And that's just basically the message. Like, divine intervention is like when you going through a time in your life where things are not going so good, relationships not going so good with your family, with your partner, with your children, with your job. God wants you to, you know what some people already know what they want to do in life. Some people are trying to figure out what they're trying to do in life. And it don't matter. Either one of the situations is okay. It's okay to not know, and it's okay to know. But if you do know, you can't be afraid of change. You can't be afraid to start over. You can't be afraid to lose things, because what you have to know is, a lot of people say they have faith in God, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of don't believe that they do. Because if they have faith in God or have higher power, you know, we all have different beliefs, but long as it's of the good, you know, universe, whoever you believe in, Buddha, you know, any of them things, you know, that, because I listen and I read about all different religions. So anything that's guiding us towards a higher vibration, we got to know that we have to release things and know that if we release that, something better is coming, long as we stay on our right path. You got to know that, first of all, anything that you did that wasn't good in your past, it's not up to people to forgive you. First of all, you have to forgive yourself. Ask God to forgive you. Repent. Take accountability for what you have done wrong in life. God forgives us. The universe forgives us. Buddha forgives us. Whoever, you have of your higher power, who you believe in, forgives us. But you gotta know, if you don't take accountability for something, you can't expect good to happen just because you doing good things. No, you have karmic debt that you have to give back for your wrongdoing. Everybody has to be accountable for what they do. So matters what other people say, because a lot of people make situations that's not about their situation about them. So them not knowing what kind of karma this person has to pay, because you gotta know that's why you need to know your life path, because you've been here many times. And some people are starting at life path 1, so they have to go through all the cycles again. So they're gonna come through many more cycles until they learn the lesson. So once you take accountability for things and pay off your karmic debt, then you will see the blessings. And what's funny to me, people don't really know what blessings is all the time, because most people think that blessings come in material, superficial things. And that's not where you got to look at it. You got to look at blessings coming through just change your attitude, your how balanced you are, things that don't make you be low vibrational, giving more love, being more empathetic. And that's another thing, I have learned about since I have been on my journey, that I'm very empathetic. So that's why I don't attach myself to certain things that I know will bring my vibration down. Like, I can't look at documentaries of people doing, violent things and bringing harm to people, and I just can't look at stuff like that, because it'll bother me and it'll put me in a bad energy, and my mind will keep thinking about the bad thing that I can't even change. So I only try to keep myself involved in things that I can at least help people to change on, and help myself also to change. So you gotta know, if I'm gonna give you a prime example, I'm gonna put myself as an example. The last relationship that I was in, it was low vibrational. And once God got me away from that, I learned how to be. I didn't want to be in another relationship right off. I thought I did. I thought I needed to be with somebody to get over. No, I needed to be with God and heal from that. Not to say that I couldn't have a friend, We always need somebody that we can confide in. We need companionship. But sometimes it's good to also take time to be by yourself and learn how. I learned how to cope with a lot of things through my spirituality. So I started looking into crystals. I started taking spiritual baths. And at first I didn't know how to take spiritual baths. I remember getting the pink Himalaya salt And instead of like adding it in my water, I would like put it on my towel and bathe my body with it. But the towel turned pink from the salt, so I was like, okay, it gotta be a better method to do this. So I started with the Himalayan salt. But now I just use Dr. Tia Epsom salt. I put it in my bath water. And I also use the Dr. Tia products to cleanse with the body wash. And I use the scrubs. And just when you get in the water, whether you take a shower or bath, I take baths for the most part. But like when I want to cleanse my body from head to toe, wash my hair, and do a whole thorough cleansing, I sometimes do both. I take my spiritual bath and then let the water go out the tub, and then just get under the shower and cleanse my hair and just speak positive. Ask God to protect you from any low vibrations, any spell work people are trying to send towards you, any black magic people are trying spells they're trying to send towards you, and just ask God to send his angels to protect you and keep you grounded, keep you balanced, protect your family. I also speak positivity over not just me. When I get in the bath water, I speak protection over my family, over my grandkids, over my kids, over my friends, and even with my water, because water is purifies you. So even with my water, I get my water and speak positive affirmations before I drink the water. Water is very cleansing. So once I became spiritual, I quit even drinking. I drink soda occasionally, but I really don't drink soda anymore. And I started investing in herbal teas. And I wasn't drinking them like I wasn't like on a good schedule with drinking herbal teas, but I have taught myself how to do better with it. It don't just happen overnight. You gotta know that healing is a process. Some people can heal faster than others. It just depends on the situation and the person. But you gotta know, even when I was going through, and I still go through, but in the beginning, when I was going through my awakening, and I would still be repeating certain cycles, I was thinking that I wasn't on the right path. I was on the right path. I didn't fall astray. I just came stagnated. That's how I'm gonna say. I became stagnated in a spot where I had to keep repeating something before I learned the lesson. So, you gotta know, even when you do meet a person and you know that they're a divine partner that God sent your way for you to learn lessons from. Everybody that comes in our life, they come to teach us a lesson, whether it's good or bad. So, understanding that, it made me realize that even though I wanted something to go a certain way, you gotta know the person that you might want to change, they're not ready to change. So you can't force no one to change on nothing. Everyone has free will. Even God can't force nobody to do anything. He gives everybody free will. So when you have free will to do stuff, you just have to know how to distinguish which path is better for you. And sometimes it ain't what we want, it's what we need in life. And then once we get by the needs, God will give us just what we want. It might not be in the same person. It might not be that person. God will send another person. It might not be in the form that you're used to, your superficial self. You know, I look deep into people's soul. I don't see just beauty on the outside, because once I see your soul is beautiful, your outside is beautiful to me. So that's why I'm more aware of how people treat others. Like when I go out to eat with people, I notice how they treat waiters. I notice how they treat people who's homeless. I pay attention to all that because I don't think these people, I'm better than none of these people. So I treat people how I would like to be treated. And if a waiter is unkind to me, I will be blunt with the waiter, but rude, no. But that goes back to me going out with my friend, and he's made a valid point. He said he tips on the behavior. So if your behavior is bad, you're not getting no good tip. So that's how God works with us. If your behavior is bad, you don't get gifts. You just gonna go back and repeat the cycle till you learn the lesson. So when you're going through a divine intervention, you have to know that God is trying to guide you towards the good. Because at this point, he don't think that you're bad enough to be on the bad side. But he don't think you're good enough to be on the good side. So you like in between. So you got to choose a pattern. And, once you get used to being a certain way for so long, it don't just happen overnight. And people have to know that everybody don't stay the same. Some people are willing to grow. Some people are like plants and they want to grow. You have some people that's okay and they don't want to grow. They comfortable with being uncomfortable. And I talks about this a lot on my channel, about people that are uncomfortably comfortable in their situations because that's just all that they know and it's all that they're used to. So once you become comfortable with that, you think that's the life that you supposed to have, when in reality, no, God always wants us to have better in life. But do we want that for ourselves? So if you're not willing to listen to your own intuition, and sometimes your intuition is blocked because you're not listening to it no way. So you're blocking your own intuition. And once you hear somebody tell you something that you already been thinking, then you'll be like, oh, I thought that. And, you just need confirmation. Sometimes we do need confirmation. I always need confirmation. That's my problem. I never stop looking for stuff. I need to learn with myself sometimes to go with the flow. Because I'm always looking for answers. I'm always Googling everything, trying to know before it happened. And I had to learn that's not how everything worked. To certain extents, God gonna only reveal so much to me. Sometimes I have to wait and see and let things happen and believe that once I ask for something and I stay disciplined, God is gonna give it to me. And there's a lot of things that people don't realize when they have faith. That's called having faith. And I learned to move a lot more now by faith. You can't ask God for something and you're not making no moves to make it happen. You can't want something better, but you settling for something that you know that it's just pleasing other people. You know, you have to learn like how to not be such a people pleaser all the time too. You can't worry about how other people feel all the time if it's not taking in consideration to your feelings also. So when you go through a divine intervention, you gotta know that God is gonna protect you, and He's gonna guide you, and He's gonna rescue you also. But you gotta know that you can't just skip over the process and just go to the good. That's not how it works. That's not how things work. You have to pay your karmic debt. So once you get past the bad and realize that it's just a lesson, God will He even see you through the bad to where the bad don't even seem so bad anymore. But you have to have faith and know that it's always something better if you allow the change to come and stop trying to hold on to certain things, material things, and just know if you release that, God is going to always provide and have something better for you. See, I know my journey, so I'm very patient with God. I'm patient with the people that God surround me with to help me get to where I need to get. I learned to be patient. Because things don't happen overnight, you know. And if it do happen overnight, you know, you got to know that you better make sure that it's just not happening because you did it the wrong way. And if it came overnight the wrong way, you know it's not going to last. I don't care what nobody say. If you do things the wrong way and good things happen through the wrong way overnight, it's going to be gone overnight too. So I want to work hard, but smart hard. I'm going from working hard, putting in work, to working smart, where I won't have to work so hard. But you gotta be ready to work hard first so you can be comfortable and work smart. So that's the message that I had for today. And I appreciate everybody who comes to my channel and listen to me speak. I'm just a motivational speaker. I just speak from what God gives me the message to give. I'm not anybody on here that's just trying to get people for clout. I'm not on here for clout. I'm not on here to be famous or nothing. I'm doing what God has guided me to do, and it's speak on things that I have experienced in life, and to help others to understand that are going through similar situations in their life. We're not on the same time. Some of us are further ahead than others. Some of us are behind others. But long as you're on your path, that's all that matters. And when you end up getting stagnated, You gotta know to ask God, higher power, universe, whoever that's of a higher power, to keep you grounded and bring balance back into your life, and trust the process. And that's my message for today. And I hope y'all have a blessed day. I love you guys. Thank you for coming to support me and my channel. I'm just asking that more people come towards the light. And that's just all I'm doing this for, to guide people towards better. And I appreciate the views. And God bless you all. Have a blessed day.